The mod collection was so broken this week, we don't even have time for an intro. So usually it's Wednesday, somewhere around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when you can actually find these things first get launched. Sometimes they're a little bit late, either by a couple minutes or a half hour, but this time was different. A viewer of the show, Ingo, helps me out by capturing all these. I think he has a program that scrapes their website to get the links. And only half of them actually showed up on the mod collection page this time. So there are special guitars that you can only buy because you've watched this show or you scraped Gibson's website yourself. We're actually going to start with this one, the Les Paul Studio Blue Tone. When I first saw this on Wednesday, it looked exactly like this, notify me when available. So just out of curiosity, I did it. And I did get an email at 5:46 that evening that said it was back in stock and you can buy it now. And when I came to this page, it said I could buy it and I could check out, but I decided not to. So that's kind of the story on a lot of these. I don't know if we'll see Gibson relist it or if somebody else also had a backdoor to get in here. But here's the Blue Tone. You guys tell me, did I make a fumble here? It's half blue, half black, but yet we have a little bit of additional color going on here with a straight white stripe, but there's a little bit of black to the left and a little bit of blue to the right. They really just mixed that half and half thing and made it something completely unique. Kind of racing stripe, kind of car culture, but they also put gold hardware over everything. But what actually caught my attention on this one is the matching headstock. It's the exact same thing we saw on the body, but with the Les Paul model and Gibson on it. For some reason, I just think it looks really good, especially with those tuners. But where they nearly sold me on this thing is they did the complete job. It's on the neck, it's on the body, it looks like it lines up very nicely, and hey, they even painted that backplate blue as well. It's gorgeous, but you can tell this does not have a comfort swoop, so that means this was just a regular Les Paul Studio, regularly priced at $15.99. So they had roughly a $600 premium onto this, then you gotta add sales tax, then it becomes $2,500, and just to break even, I would have to sell it for about $3,000. And that's why I decided, I'll let this one go. But for an end user, that thing was cool. But my friends, here's a secret one that is available to buy and is insanely cool. They called it Pacific Blue Burst with metallic back. It's one of the new Les Paul Supremes. It's available for $4,200. You gotta check this link, type it in, you can find it yourself. But are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This is a Supreme, but with P90s. They don't currently make it this way. So either that's a leaked upcoming model or somebody messed up and now this is in the mod collection. But I dig it. I love the blue burst finish, the black covers on the P90s. This is something that needs to be documented, but again, just like that Studio, once you add sales tax, that's like $4,600. I would have to be selling it for like $5,250 and no. But they didn't modify the headstock alone, still clear lacquer. But by metallic back, they're talking just a straight up gorgeous blue. You get to see your heel cut, and that does appear to be a full gloss refinish. And of course we got our Gibson Mod Collection decal. Here's another hidden one that's available, a 335 Chill Ice Satin. Here's the link if you're interested in it. It's offered at $4,100, just appears to be a dark blue satin finish. Maybe not as exciting as the other two hiddens, but you do get the golden hardware on the 335, so that's a bit different, and you get your barrel style knobs. And it looks like they might have tinted the clear coat just a tad on it. But when you go to the headstock, okay, that's a cool selling feature. They gave it the blue tint up here. Not too heavy though, just enough to give it some character. And then you get the continuation of that finish all over the back. And it's got a serial number dating to the 143rd day of 2024. Another hidden one that is available at the time of recording is Frosted Sparkle Les Paul Studio. Here's the link you would need to type in to find this thing. So this one actually has some potential. I didn't look at this too closely on launch day. I just thought, metallic blue, whatever. But no, now that I see it, it's got like the sparkle flakes on top of the metallic blue. That thing might actually look really sweet in person. You get the chromed out knurled knobs. They put the chrome toppers over your pickup rings. They really bling this thing out. That's gonna look great in the light. But this is definitely one of those more modernized studios because it does have the binding. We do not have fret nibs. Looks like the headstock, they just blacked it out as far as the plastics are concerned. And then looking at the back, we do not have the heel cut. So it's not a modern studio. This is one of those The One studios. But I'm having a hard time telling, is that black or a very dark blue? Our next one is known as Brule Perimeter. Now, even if you have the direct link to it, it now shows up as bugged, so we might see this one get released in the future. But it looks like it's going to be a lefty with a P94 pickup in the neck and an uncovered bridge zebra bobbin pickup, and it's got a nice top and yeah, creme brulee-like vibes as far as a yellow into a burnt orange kind of color. Although looking at the back, it does appear to be a full gloss refinish. This one, I'm honestly not sure what its current status is, but it's 3100, advertised as the Sparkling Mimosa Burst. From the photos, it just looks like any regular 70s style deluxe. But I'm betting there's a little bit more of a sparkle play here. Like if you zoom in, you can kind of see similar things to what we just saw on that blue one. But those two inlays right here are like obnoxiously yellowed as compared to everything else. But here's a quick peek at our headstock. Looks like extra ambered over tuners. And then you have a nice ambered over back. The cream back plates accent that well. And it looks like they were trying to show us what that top finish can do here. So it's going to go from a more rich gold to like a silver coat over top of it. Then these last three are currently available just going to the Gibson Mod Collection page. It's the Muscat Green 59 335 reissue. Got uncovered pickups, looks like a satin green refinish, golden knobs, golden switch tip. The headstock, they decided to put one of the old Gibson Memphis style truss rod covers on it. That's always fun. Then flipping over to the back, looks like a continuation of everything that we saw on the front. But this one is DS serial 243. This non-reverse Thunderbird's pretty cool. They called it Sugar Racer, with a little bit of sunshine built in there. So you're gonna notice there's a racing stripe on this, but instead of being like directly center or matching the width of the neck, it is slightly askew. So keep that in mind for later on, but I love the choice of the clear pick guard. You still get to see all the good colors, but have the guard and have a Thunderbird over top of that. Then you get your speed knobs and all the other good chrome accents with your super crazy black gold sparkle finish. But now take a look at your headstock. You get the continuation of that stripe and the same colorings, but they went with a red logo, which pops really nice. But where this one truly wins, they decided to make it like a half stinger, which I thought was kind of fascinating and kind of helps explain what their mindset was doing as far as making that an offset stripe. But for Gibson USA, they seriously gave that thing a facelift. But that doesn't come cheaply. It's $3,400. Which, just as a frame of reference, these are $2,400 brand new. You also get them in cherry, Inverness green, sparkling burgundy, and faded Pelham blue as a .com exclusive. But in looking that up, under the bass category, it says Les Paul bass. Ah, man, I thought, are they really bringing those back? It says 4 and 5. That might be a tease. We might see the Les Paul bass come back. Because, I mean, I don't personally consider this a Les Paul. They technically did put it on the headstock that it was, but that's not what I think. I think about these weirdos. Sometimes these, I guess technically you can include this in that list as well, or even the flat top versions. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But the last one for the USA is the 70s Explorer in Night Shift. So at first you just might think, metallic blue, they do one of those moto pick guards, gold hardware, but it looks like it color shifts from blue to purple, so that is going to be really cool when you have that in the hand. Because it looks like it might also continue on to the back, so almost like a nebula-like color scheme going on. But looks like they left the headstock just completely ebony. But here's a couple of close-ups that help show off the purple into blue. Maybe even a bit of yellow in there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So yeah, rather interesting week for the USA Mod Collection. If any of you score any of those hidden guitars, feel free to let us know in the comments. The EU's break is over. We had 3 new ones. I consider it more of a warm-up week. As for €1,700, we had another one of those Tony Iommi disguised guitars with a new blue satin finish. It looks like upgraded wrap tail piece. And they threw in those notch speed knobs just for fun. But you go from that dark vibe on the top to more of a light angelic one with your Moto backplate, but then you still get the black tuners. They also had a Twilight Indigo 335 at €3,800. Looks like another satin finish, kind of a black into blue. But nice, at least you get the entire thing painted. They don't always do that on the 335s. And then we had Amber Blast Satin. It's a 58 reissue, meaning you're going to have the long neck tenon, true ABR1. It's got a lot of nice plain grain going on, but instead of humbuckers, you actually have the P94s. They are humbucker-sized P90s with kind of a black into yellowish burst. Headstock was stripped of the Les Paul branding, and they reamed it out for, it looks like mini Grovers. Whoa, yeah, very odd choice on a reissue. And then look at your Mod Collection decal. It looks like the old aniline dyes were still eating it, even though it has a new finish. Same thing's true on your serial number, DS0239. But the full back is just satin black. But now the Gibson Demo Shop. They had roughly 50 new guitars. They were primarily players' grade options. So at first you might just think, just skip them. No, there were a few gems. such as this 50 Standard in Lemon Burst. I just thought that particular top was very good for a Lemon Burst. It's not my favorite hue out of the 50s and 60s Standards, but it's nice when you can find the right one. And in my opinion, that's the right one. Same thing was true on this SG Supreme. Phenomenal top for one of these. Sometimes they get too dark, sometimes they're too pinstripey. This one's got an interesting chevron flame pattern to it. And then they uncovered the pickups, which looks great on this model. Otherwise, nothing too different on the back. This LOO caught my attention because, hey, it's the old 34 burst. But here was the unique one, labeled as a Gibson Les Paul Custom Tobacco Sunburst. Of course, I'm going to click it because I like that finish, and I was curious. Did they do it on the back? The answer is no, they left it natural. But did you notice anything else about this? It's got trapezoid inlays. It's a standards fretboard, but a custom's everything else. That's fun and quirky. Kinda tempting to pick it up to review just to have the documentation of, yeah, you can do that if you want. And technically that's a discount. They had 2 of these Lizzie Hale Explorer birds. This was the cheapest of the 2 offerings. This Les Paul Supreme I thought had an interesting wood streak right there on the front. Not a terrible price. A really good top on one of the ES Supremes. Again, you got about $600 off. They also had a good chunk of money off of this ES Supreme Gibson.com exclusive. I can see why that one sold quickly. And the rest, these are playing catch up. I must have recorded the episode before these got listed last week. There's a Mary Ford that they just gifted to someone. These are $3,000 brand new, all the way down to 22 for something that just came out. And then they dumped more Epiphone prototypes. So here's another Firebird 1. I know we talked about these like a month or so ago, but these are new. So this version has a very nice proto stamp on it, as well as the IGC. They also had their version. This one was listed for $13. Looks like they branded it very similarly. Another one of the 59 reissue prototypes, the one with the Gibson style headstock. There's the Wash Cherry version. I really like the look of this cherry one from the Firebird 1 offerings. And this one, I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, that's a nice Les Paul Custom. And then I kind of got shocked when I saw the headstock. It's like, oh, okay, don't just take a quick glance. I mean, $900, that was a no-brainer on that one. Proto, and you get the very nice Les Paul Custom. Out of all the ones that were released around this time, the Custom was my favorite, even if it wasn't the best deal. Then I also noticed one of the nicest Access Bangle bursts we've seen. Wow, that is a good top on one of those. And that ends our fun for tonight. All right, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.